I recently took a trip to northern Quebec, solo for 7 days. The drive from my home in Maine, coastal Maine, was 680 miles north into Quebec. The area is controlled by Cree First Nations Indians. And I got permits to go on their lakes, 2 lakes, Lac Robineau and Lake Canotaicane, with 2 portages in between. Portages weren't hard, but my physical condition was a little bit difficult for me. First 2 days was relatively calm. Started off sunny, but then it became cloudy, and that was it. Clouds and rain and wind for 7 days. My first camp was on a beach. There's no really marked campsites in these 2 lakes, which combined, the 2 lakes are about 60 miles long. So I managed to camp the second night on the beach, and as the weather started to deteriorate, the next morning I really had my hands full with the wind and rain and waves. Here I'm paddling into the waves. You need to get around a point and go down the lake further to get out of the wind. I was looking for a cove, something to sit in and hide out. So I made it around a really treacherous point. It was awful. But I got around and started riding the surf, so to speak. And I was very careful. I hugged the shore, worried about being blown out into the lake. If I ever became separated from my canoe, I would be in a world of hurt. Although I did carry a spot satellite messaging device that I could call for help. So anyway, here I am riding out the waves. And finally I found a nice little cove. You can see if you look at the trees, they'll start blowing around. The wind is blowing up over coming from my back. And this little cove is nice and calm, but further out I couldn't go any further. It opened up again into the lake, and it was just too treacherous. Then I hit the rain. I had something to eat, nice little lunch, and then breakfast lunch, and then I covered up myself in my tarp, waiting, hoping maybe things will improve, but they never did. So I moved down the lake, I left my gear and picked up some wood to make a fire, make myself comfortable. It wasn't cold, but it was damp and windy. So here I am. It's hard to camp on these beaches with, not much. It's hard to put the tarp up. There's no trees. You're way in the back in the bush there. So you got long strings, and you got to prop up the tarp. I had a little fire going in my twig stove, and I was comfortable. I sat there drinking tea, and that's my little tent behind there. And you can see the wind blowing around in those trees up there. And it just never stopped, the wind. And I sat there and waited and waited. And I had fishing permits. I could have gone fishing, but I was so worried about the lake getting blown out into that lake. I really had no interest. Nice little campfire. It helps. So here I am packing it in. I got a 2-day paddle out. And I've been there 5 days, and I paddled into this wind, rain, pouring rain. And making the best of it. So I made it through the portages, and I got a campsite. There's one campsite there. And they make a platform where you put your tent on. It's kind of different, and I'm particularly care for. But it's kind of like a view of the lake, right there at the portage. And then the last day, I had a tailwind across the last lake, Lake Robineau, and that was helpful. I was very tired. I made it up. Thank you for watching.